Hello dear students, hope you remember the subphylum of Chordata is called Vertebrata. We are supposed to wear a helmet, not just to wear a helmet because the police is going to ask. Here you can see the beautiful picture of the fishes. These animals do not have a jaw. They have a sucking and circular mouth without jaws. The mouth is supported by jaws, hence the name jawed animals. Marine forms. First very important difference. Dear students, welcome back to session 12 of this chapter called Animal Kingdom. Right, almost we are studying about the animal kingdom from session 1 of this very important chapter called Animal Kingdom. What did we learn in the last session? We learned about the chordate characters. We also studied about the classification of phylum Chordata. Hope you remember the subphylum of Chordata is called Vertebrata. As I said, how do we classify the animals into invertebrates and vertebrates? Based on the presence or absence of a vertebral column or a backbone. We are called vertebrates because we have a backbone. And what is the function of the backbone? It is a supporting structure to the body. So the support is given by this vertebral column or a backbone, where it is in the form of notochord in the embryonic stage, and as they grow up into an adult, it is transformed into vertebral column or a backbone. Now let us study in detail about the vertebrate characters. Hope you can see the beautiful pictures here. What are all these animals? All these are the animals which belong to the phylum Vertebrata. Hope you remember that they are also called as tetrapod. Tetrapoda means what? And they are called as gnathostomate. They have jaw. Vertebrates have a jaw, and they are also classified into what? That is the five classes actually. Class fishes, then class amphibia, class reptilia, class apes and class mammalia. Now let us study about, and very unique characteristic feature of vertebrate is we have a brainy box. What do you mean by brainy box? That is about the cranium. The vertebrates are called as craniates. Why they are called as craniates? Because the brain is enclosed in a brainy box called cranium. Hence, and you know brain, how important the brain is for an animal. So to give protection to the brain is enclosed in a brainy box, just like a suitcase. It is enclosed in a suitcase or a brainy box called cranium. Hence vertebrates are also called as what? Craniates. Now let us move on to the very important vertebrate characters. So the first and foremost vertebrate character, they possess a notochord. As I said, it is a tubular cord which is present as a notochord in the embryonic stage. Later on it is transformed into what? It is transformed into a vertebral column, or it is otherwise called as backbone. It is called vertebral column, or it is otherwise called as a backbone. So they possess very, very important. Vertebrates means what? They have a vertebral column. That is the backbone. But as I said, in the embryonic stage, it is present in the form of notochord. Later on, it is transformed into a vertebral column or a backbone. Very, very important vertebrate character is what? Presence of notochord, whereas it is transformed into dorsal tubular nerve cord. Next. The notochord, as I said, it is replaced by cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. So in the adult, it may be converted into a cartilaginous. As I said, what is cartilage? Soft bone or bony vertebral column in the adult. Next, very important, they have paired appendages. What do you mean by appendages? Appendages may be in the form of fins for locomotion or limbs for locomotion. Like for example, in aquatic animals, what do they have as organs of locomotion? They have fins as organs of locomotion. Whereas limbs in tetrapods, that is the terrestrial animals, they have limbs as organs of locomotion. So they have paired. Paired means what? Two. Paired appendages which may be in the form of fins as in fishes, or it may be in the form of limbs particularly in terrestrial animals. So this is also a very, very important vertebrate character. Next, the vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart, and as you all know, a heart is a very, very important organ for an animal, and which is going to pump the blood. And as you know, blood is a very, very important liquid connective tissue which carries the nutrients, and at the same time the impurities from the body are thrown out through the blood. So are carried through the blood. So vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with either with 2 auricle, that is with 2 chambers, or 3 chambers, or 4 chambers. Like for example, human beings have 4 chambered heart, that is with 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. Some animals have 2 chambered heart, some animals have 3 chambered heart, except for crocodile has an incomplete 4 chambered heart, right? So thereon, like you can see, the heart is either 2 chambered or 3 chambered or 4 chambered with auricles and ventricles. So this is a very, very important point to be noted for a vertebrate character. What is it? Vertebrates have a ventral, as you know, ventral and dorsal surface. We have 2 surfaces on the body. One is called the ventral surface and the other one is called as a dorsal surface. So where is the heart found? It is found on the ventral surface of the body, and it is muscular with 2 or 3 or 4 chambered heart. Very, very important vertebrate character. And they have a pair of kidney. As you know, kidney does what? It is a very, very important excretory organ. So whatever excretory waste are produced in the body has to be thrown out of the body. It cannot be retained in the body for a longer time. You may wonder what will happen if it is retained in the body for a longer time. It may prove toxic to the body. So they have to be eliminated frequently. And that wonderful job of eliminating the waste from the body is done by kidney. That too, a pair of kidneys for excretion. And also, for example, in case of aquatic animals, it is also helping in what? Osmoregulation. So regulating the body from the water current, osmoregulation also. So they have a very, very important vertebrate character, that is what? They have a pair of kidneys for what? For excretion and also for osmoregulation. And very important is what? What do you mean by vascular system? It is nothing but called the circulatory system. Circulatory system. Vascular means what? Blood vessels. Blood vessels are otherwise called vascular. Like even in plants, vascular means what? Xylem, phloem. They are all called as what? Vascular. Conducting, that which carries. As you know, in plants, xylem carries water, whereas phloem carries food. So the conducting elements are called as what? Vascular. So here, which is the conducting element in our body? It is blood vessels. So blood vessels carry the blood. So what type of circulatory system or blood vascular system we have? We have closed type of circulatory system. Hope you remember. What do you mean by open circulatory system? Absence of blood vessels. So there are no blood vessels. What do you mean by closed blood vascular system? Presence of blood vessels. So the heart is going to pump the blood from the heart. The blood is carried through the blood vessels, and minute blood vessels are called as what? Capillaries. All these are some of the very important vertebrate characters. So what is it? First, very important is what? They possess a notochord. Where? During embryonic period. So during embryonic period, the notochord is present. Later on, it is transformed into a vertebral column. As I said, it is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. Then what is the next very important feature? They have paired appendages. What are these appendages used for? It may be in the form of fins in aquatic animals, or it may be in the form of limbs in terrestrial animals. Used for what? For locomotion. You may wonder, why do we have the locomotory organelles to move from one place to another place? For example, in case of animals, they need to move from one place to another place in search of food or in search of a partner, or maybe to protect themselves from the predators. So in that case, they need the locomotory organ. They are not sessile. They have locomotory organelles for various to carry on various functions. So they have paired appendages, which may be in the form of fins in aquatic animals, or it may be in the form of limbs in case of terrestrial animals. Next, the vertebrates have what? Ventral. The heart is present on the ventral surface of the body. Muscular heart, either with 2 chambers or 3 chambers or 4. So heart may be 2 chambered, or it may be 3 chambered, or it may be 4 chambered with 2 auricles and 2 ventricles, or 1 auricle 2 ventricles, or 1 auricle 1 ventricle. So it may be 2 chambered or 3 chambered or 4 chambered. Next, very important characteristic, they have a pair of kidneys. What is the function of these kidneys? Mainly for what? For excretion, throwing out the waste that is produced in the body due to metabolism. And not only that, in case of aquatic animals, it is very much responsible for what? For osmoregulation. So besides throwing the excretory waste from the body, it also osmoregulates. Next, the vascular system, the blood vascular system is of closed type. What do you mean by closed type? They have blood vessels to carry the blood from one part of the body to the other part. So these are some of the very important vertebrate characters. Moving on to the some more vertebrate characters. Anterior part of the nerve cord forms the brain. All of us know that brain is a very important part of the nervous system. You call it as a part of central nervous system. Brain and the spinal cord forms the central nervous system, and the brain is present in the anterior part. That is, the anterior part of the nerve cord forms the brain and the posterior part forms the spinal cord. Very, very important vertebrate characters, which is more prominent in case of vertebrates than in case of invertebrates. As you have already come across in invertebrate phyla, did you find brain was there, but was it developed like this? And did you find the spinal cord there in invertebrates? No. So what is the other vertebrate character? Anterior part of the nerve cord forms the brain and the posterior part of the forms what? The spinal cord, and it is a very, very important part of what? Nervous system. You can see the different animals, right, which belong to the phylum Vertebrata. Phylum Vertebrate. You might have seen this giraffe, right? So the anterior, what is other very important chordate that is vertebrate character? Anterior part of the nerve cord forms the brain and posterior part forms the spinal cord. Then the brain, as I said, brain is a very, very important part of the nervous system. It is protected by a brainy box. Hence they are called as what? Craniates. And in those animals where the brain is not enclosed in a brainy box, they are called as, so we can classify the animals into craniates and acraniates. What do you mean by craniates? Without cranium. Sorry, acraniates are without cranium. Cranium with cranium. So craniates are those with cranium. Acraniates are without cranium. What do you mean by cranium? Cranium is nothing but a brainy box. Just like how we keep our jewels in a jewelry box in a safe. That is the reason why, that is how the concept of wearing a helmet has come. Brain is located inside the head, and head is so very important because it is having the brain, and that is the reason why due to accidents and all, the brain may get damaged. So that is the reason why we are supposed to wear a helmet, not just to wear a helmet because the police is going to ask. It is our head, it is our brain, and it is our duty to protect our head and our brain. So brain is a very, very important part of the nervous system, and if that is damaged, definitely the whole and as you know, it is going to be fatal also. So as you know, as a form of protection, the brain is enclosed in a brainy box called cranium. So this is a very, very important vertebrate character which you find only in the vertebrates, right? So the brain is protected by a bony case called brain case. You can also use the word called brain case or cranium, justifying the name as craniates. So vertebrates are called as craniates. Why are they called as craniates? Because the brain is enclosed, as I said, anterior part of the nerve cord forms the brain and posterior part forms the spinal cord. So the brain here is protected by a bony case, and what do you call that bony case? As brain case or cranium, justifying the name as what? Craniata. Very, very important point to be noted for vertebrate character. Next, the skin is made up of upper epidermis and lower epidermis. I think all of us know the skin is a part of protection to the body, and particularly imagine in animals where they don't have a proper shelter and their body is exposed to what? Environmental conditions, but they have their skin designed in such a way that they can overcome the hazardous climatic conditions. So here we can find that the epidermis is modified into exoskeleton like scales. For example, in fishes, as you know, fish is an aquatic animal. It lives in cold water. So imagine what is a means of protection for their body? It is the scales. So here the exoskeleton is like what? Is in the form of scales then feathers, hair, claws, nails and hooves. The skin is made up of what? Upper epidermis and lower epidermis, and the epidermis is modified into what? Exoskeleton. Like what? Like scales, feathers. In some animals it is scale, feathers, birds you have seen, hair, like even human beings also have hair, animals have claws. Claws are very important means of for example, you might have come across in birds, right? They hold the branch. Then nails, as you know, then the hooves. Like in case of cattle or in case of horse, you can see, you can come across the hooves. So all these are what? These are the very important vertebrate characters. The anterior part of the nerve cord forms brain and the posterior part forms the spinal cord. Very important character. Next, the brain is protected by a brainy box or a bony box. It is called brain case or cranium, justifying the name as what? Craniates. That is how the name craniata has come. Then the skin is made up of what? Upper epidermis and lower epidermis. And the epidermis is modified into what? Exoskeleton, like what? Like scales, like feathers, like hair, like claws, like nails and hooves. Now, what are the other vertebrate characters? Here you can see the beautiful picture of the fishes and the birds. Right? You can see how beautiful these animals are. First of all, the animals are so very beautiful to look at, right? See the colored fishes, birds, my lord. And they have a different mode of, like, you know, the beaks, different types of beaks also. Like you have come across parrot. Parrot has a bent beak with red beak. And the body is, beautifully colored. You have seen the crow, fully black, jet black. Even the koel bird. So you can see how the birds and the fishes have evolved, right, on this planet Earth. So what are the other very important characters? The nostril is single when it is called as right. So the nostril is single or double. Monorhino. It is called monorhino. So if the nostril is single, it is called monorhino. Or it might be single or double. Like in human beings, it is double. So what is it meant for? The nostril is mainly meant for what? Respiration, intake of oxygen and also expulsion of the gaseous waste from the body. So it serves as what? Exchange of gases. Next, the locomotory organs are fins, as I already explained. The locomotory organs may be in the form of fins in case of aquatic animals, or it might be in the form of limbs in case of terrestrial animals. As I said, there is a presence of pharyngeal gill slits. Then the excretory and reproductive system are closely associated to form what? A urinogenital system. For example, like in frog. Frog belongs to what? Class Amphibia. In this animal, both the excretory system and the reproductive system are clubbed together to form urinogenital means what? Reproductive. Urino means what? Excretory. Urinogenital system. This is also another very important vertebrate character. That is, the excretory and the reproductive systems are closely associated to form what? To form the urinogenital system. That is the excretory as well as the reproductive system called urinogenital system. So what are the other very important vertebrate characters? The nostril is single. The nostril may be single when you call it as monorhino, or it might be double called birhino. And the locomotory organs are what? Fins in case of aquatic animals and limbs in case of terrestrial animals. There is a presence of what? Pharyngeal gill slits. And in some animals, the excretory and the reproductive system are closely associated to form one system called urinogenital system. Like in case of frog, the excretory and the reproductive system are clubbed to form what? To form what? Urinogenital system. Then moving on to the subphylum Vertebrata. As I said, it is divided into Agnatha and Gnathostomata. As I said, what is the basis for classifying them into Agnatha and Gnathostomata? Based on the presence or absence of jaws. Jaws or teeth. Here you can see the beautiful picture of Cyclostomata, that is hagfish. Hagfish, you can see how it is. So very beautiful animal, right? So division 1, as I said, it is divided into two divisions. What is the division called? Agnatha, and division 2 called what? Gnathostomata. So agnatha means what? Absence of jaws, and or monorhina, single nostril. And this division includes what? Most primitive vertebrates where mouth is not supported by the jaws. So these animals do not have a jaw. Then what will they have? They will have a sucking. So which is, you can see that I'll show it in the next slide how the suckers are found in Cyclostomata. Then it includes Cyclostomata, which is represented by lampreys and hagfishes. So division 1 is Agnatha, and division 2 is what? Division 2 is Gnathostomata. Division 1 is Agnatha. Division 2 is what? Gnathostomata. These are with jaw or teeth. These are jawless. What do you call them? These are jawless animals. Right? Moving on. So what will be the nature of these animals like cyclostomates? They are ectoparasites on some fishes. Hope you know what are parasites. Parasites are those which reside on in the host body, either inside the host body or outside the host. For example, you have come across leech. Leech is an ectoparasite. Usually you find it outside the body of the host. Here you can see the suckers. Because they do not have teeth, or what? They do not have teeth or jawless animals. Cyclostomates are what? Jawless animals. So what do they have? They have suckers as organs, right? Now, what is it? They are ectoparasites. What do you mean by ectoparasites? Found outside the body of what? Fishes. They are not found inside the body of the host. Here, who is the host? Fish is the host. Right? They act as ectoparasites on some fishes. Next, they have sucking and circular mouth without jaw. Here you can see here sucking and circular mouth without jaw or teeth. So this is also a very important vertebrate character. What is it? They are ectoparasites on some fishes. They have a sucking and circular mouth without jaws, and cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous. Cranium and vertebral column is not bony, it is cartilage. What is cartilaginous? Soft bone. For example, you might have seen the external ear, the pinna. It is the tip of the nose is what? It is made up of cartilage. What is cartilage? Flexible bone, soft bone. So here our cranium is made up of bony, it is bony. Vertebral column also is bony, right? Here cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous, that is soft bone. Next, they are exclusively marine. So agnathostomates are exclusively marine. But see the very, very important, they migrate to fresh water for spawning. What do you mean by spawning? For reproduction, to lay the eggs. They are exclusively marine forms, but they go to the fresh water to lay eggs or to carry on the process of reproduction. This is a very, very unique characteristic feature of cyclostomates. You have to remember all these very unique points, right? Because animal is something like a very unique thing on this planet Earth. You know, you find variety of organisms, animals with a variety of characters, variety of morphological features. So no two animals are similar. So you come across you have a lot of differences also. So what are the examples you are going to give? Petromyzon, that is commonly called as what? Lamprey. Then Myxin, which is called as hagfish. So all these are some of the characteristic features of cyclostomates. So what is it? They are ectoparasites on some fishes. They have a sucking and circular mouth without jaws, and cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous. They are exclusively marine forms, but they go to the fresh water for spawning, to lay eggs. What are the classical examples you are going to give? Petromyzon, that is lamprey. Myxin, that is hagfish. Moving on to the second division, that is division 2 called Gnathostomata. Already I told you, presence of jaws. There, presence or absence of jaws and only single nostril, monorhina. Here you can also use the word called, here they have two nostrils, amphirhina. There it was single nostril called monorhina. Monorhina. Here it is called amphirhina. So the division Gnathostomata includes what? Jawed animals or animals with teeth. So this division includes. So in the previous last slide we studied about division 1 called Agnatha, that is without jaws. What were the characteristic features? Now let us study about the characteristic features of Gnathostomata. Here you can see. So this is the picture of what? Hippocampus. You know, hippocampus moves vertically. Now it is almost at the verge of extinction. People are hunting this hippocampus, right? Maybe a day will come where we have to see the hippocampus only in pictures like this, right? Yeah, this is a very dreadful fish. All of you know. It is shark, right? You know, shark is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous fish, right? So now let us study about division 2 called Gnathostomata, presence of jaws or amphirhina with two nostrils. So the division includes what? Advanced vertebrates where mouth is supported by jaws. There jaws were not there, but mouth was having what? Circular and sucking mouth. But here the mouth is supported by jaws, hence the name jawed animals, Gnathostomates. And this group includes what? Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves and mammals. So Gnathostomata includes what? Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves and mammals. And the division Gnathostomata is divided into two superclasses. Already we have studied in classification. Superclass 1 called fishes and superclass 2 called tetrapoda. Superclass fishes is again divided into two subclasses. What was the basis for classifying the superclass fishes into what? Into what? Chondrichthyes and osteothys based on the nature of endoskeleton. If the endoskeleton is made up of bony, it is called osteophytes. Bony fishes, you can use the word called bony fishes. Then if the endoskeleton is made up of cartilage, you call it as cartilaginous fishes, or you can use the word called what? Chondrichthyes. You can use the word called chondrichthyes, right? So the superclass fishes is divided. And tetrapoda, what do you mean by tetrapoda? Four-legged animals. Starts from what? Amphibia, reptilia, aves and mammals, right? So the superclass fishes is divided into two classes, namely chondrichthyes and osteothys based on the nature of the endoskeleton. So what is it? Division 2 is what? Gnathostomata. And what is the very important feature of Gnathostomata? Presence of jaws. And they have two nostrils called amphirhina. There it was without jaws, single nostril, monorhina. Here it is presence of jaws, then two nostrils, that is amphirhina. And this division Gnathostomata includes what? Advanced vertebrates where mouth is supported by jaws. So what are the animals that are included under Gnathostomata? Animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves and mammals. And as I said, the division Gnathostomata is divided into two superclasses. One is called fishes and the other one is called tetrapoda. Again, the superclass fishes is divided into two subclasses, that is called chondrichthyes and osteothys based on the nature of the endoskeleton. Now, hope you can see in this picture, this is about the difference between chondrichthyes and osteothys. This is a very important difference which is given in the examination. So this is very important from examination point of view. So usually you see that most of the question papers they ask this. What is the difference between chondrichthyes and osteothic fishes? So characters and differences between chondrichthyes and osteothics. Now let us study one by one. Chondrichthyes means what? Cartilaginous fishes. What do you mean by cartilaginous fishes? When the endoskeleton is made up of cartilage. What do you mean by osteothics? Bony fishes. When the endoskeleton is made up of bone, then you call it as osteothics. Let us start with one by one. They are marine forms. First very important difference. They are totally marine forms. That is, chondrichthyes are totally marine forms. Here they are both freshwater and marine forms. Osteothys are both freshwater and marine forms. They are completely marine forms. Here they are both freshwater and marine forms. Here the endoskeleton is cartilaginous. As I said, hence the name what? Cartilaginous fishes or chondrichthyes. Here the endoskeleton is bony. Hence the name bony fishes or osteothys. What is the first very important difference? They are exclusively marine forms. Here they are both marine as well as freshwater forms. Here the endoskeleton is cartilaginous, here the endoskeleton is bony. The skin is covered by placoid scales. Hope you might have come across cycloid, placoid scales are there. Here the skin is covered by placoid scales. Here the skin is covered by cycloid or ctenoid scales. You might have come across scales like this on the fishes. Cycloid, right? So placoid scales. So scales are of two types. Placoid scales and cycloid scales, also called as what? Ctenoid scales. So here the skin is covered by placoid scales. Here the skin is covered by as I said, the epidermis is modified into what? Into scales for what? For protection. Right? Into exoskeleton. Exoskeleton in the form of scales in fishes for protection. Next, there are 5 to 7 pairs of naked gill slits present without operculum. So here they don't have a gill cover where we use the word called operculum. There are 5 to 7 pairs of gill slits and they are called as naked gill slits. Why they are called naked gill slits? Because there is no operculum. Here there are 4 pairs of gill slits present which are covered by operculum. Operculum is otherwise called what? Gill cover. What is the first difference? They are marine forms. These are both freshwater and marine forms. These are cartilaginous fishes. These are the endoskeleton is bony. The skin is covered by placoid scales. Here the skin is covered by cycloid or ctenoid scales. There are 5 to 7 pairs of gills, that to naked gill slit, not covered by an operculum or a gill cover. Here there are 4 pairs of gill slits present and which are covered by operculum. So operculum or what we call it as gill cover is present. Then air bladder is absent. Very, very important. Here air bladder. Air bladder can also be called as swim bladder. This is a very, very important. Air bladder is present. Here air bladder is absent. Here air bladder. Hope all of you might have seen shark. You know, shark is not having air bladder or swim bladder. So it will sink in the water. So you might have seen a shark just moving around and around round the clock, because if it stops swimming it will just sink, because it is not having what? Absence of air bladder or swim bladder. This is a very unique thing which you can observe in case of shark, right? So there was a very beautiful movie called Deep Blue Sea, which was totally about this shark. There if you have seen that, I think you can observe this very important characteristic feature of the cartilaginous fish, and shark is a very good example for chondrichthyes or cartilaginous fishes. So air bladder is present here, air bladder is absent. Next, the caudal fin. What do you mean by caudal? Tail fin. You know, fins are organs of locomotion. They have a tail fin. Here tail fin may be like this or it might be like this. So hetero means this is heterocircle. This is called homocircle. So here the fin may be like this, the tail fin, or it might be like this. So this is called homocircle. Here it is called heterocircle. You can see the split here, hence the name heterocircle. So here, what do you find here? So here the caudal fin is heterocircle. Here the caudal fin is homocircle. Here it is heterocircle like this. Here it is homocircle like this. Then heart is two-chambered. Do you all remember that heart is present on the ventral side, and it is a muscular heart made up of either 2 chambers or 3 chambers or 4 chambers. In case of fishes it is 2-chambered with 1 auricle and 1 ventricle. Here heart is also 2-chambered. Both are fishes. So with 1 auricle and 1 ventricle. Next, the mouth and the nostrils are ventral in position. Whereas here in this case, you can see that the mouth and the nostrils are in the terminal position. Terminal means topmost region. So here it is in ventral position, here it is in the terminal position. Next, the alimentary canal opens outside by cloacal aperture. You know, there is an opening called cloacal aperture. Here the alimentary canal opens outside by anus. What do you mean by alimentary canal? The digestive system. The digestive system is called alimentary canal. So the alimentary canal opens outside by cloacal aperture. Here the alimentary canal opens outside by anus. Right. Next, the males are provided with a pair of claspers. Very important. Claspers are, the presence of claspers are the very unique feature of the males, not found in the females. So the males are provided with a pair of claspers which is absent in female. Here the males do not have claspers. In case of osteothix or bony fishes, you don't find the presence of claspers. Right. Then here you can see what are the examples. Shark, rays and skates are the examples for. As I said, examples are very important. Just learning the characters without any examples will have no meaning. It makes no sense. So try to explain the concepts with suitable example. That is the reason you have so many good number of examples. And can't you all remember 2 to 3 examples? So it is very important for you all in biology, particularly examples, diagrams. All are very important. Biology means what? Full of diagrams, full of terms and terminologies, examples. All these are very unique only in biology. So try to remember all these things in biology. Then only it will be very easy and it will be more meaningful. So skates. Here you can see hippocampus, seahorse. I had shown you it in the previous slide. Clarias, Anabas, then Exocetus called flying fish. So now let us brief up the characters once again. Chondrichthyes means what? Cartilaginous fishes. What do you mean by osteothix? Bony fishes. They are marine forms. Here they are both freshwater and marine forms. Here the endoskeleton is cartilaginous. Here the endoskeleton is bony. The skin is covered by placoid scales. Here the skin is covered by cycloid or ctenoid scales. Here 5 to, so in case of chondrichthyes or cartilaginous fishes, there are 5 to 7 pairs of naked gill slits present without operculum, gill cover. Here there are 4 pairs of gill present with operculum. Right. Next, air bladder, or what is the other name for it? You can also use the word called swim bladder, is absent. Here it is present. Here the caudal fin is heterocercal. Here the caudal fin is homocercal. Then here heart is 2-chambered with 1 auricle and 1 ventricle. Here heart is 2-chambered with 1 auricle and 1. This is only the common characteristic feature which you come across, right? Then the mouth and the nostrils are ventral in position. Here the mouth and the nostrils are terminal in position. Next, the alimentary canal or the digestive system opens outside by what? Cloaca. Here the alimentary canal opens outside by anus. Right. Next, the males are provided with a pair means 2 claspers. Where you don't have, that is the bony fishes do not have claspers. What are the examples you are going to give for chondrichthyes? Shark, rays and skates. Here you can see the example you can give for bony fishes is what? Hippocampus. As I said, hippocampus almost it is you know it swims vertically and it is almost at the verge of extinction, and if care is not taken and if you don't hunt it, then definitely we can see those alive, or maybe for the coming generations I think they will be able to see the hippocampus only in pictures, right? Hope that day will not come soon, right? Then Clarias, then Anabas, then Exocetus, that is flying fish. I'll show you the diagram again once again. Here you can see this hippocampus. This is bony fish. It is called hippocampus, or it is called as what? Seahorse. It looks like a horse, right? You can see this. So it is a bony fish, or what is it otherwise called? Osteothix. Here you can see this is shark. Shark is a cartilaginous fish. It's also called as dogfish. Right. Hope you have understood all the concepts what I have explained in today's session. All the concepts what you have come across in this animal kingdom are very, very important. The only thing is constant reading will help you to remember all these points. As I said, there are good number of points to remember in biology. Biology is very vast, right? But at the same time it is a quite interesting subject also. So try to understand the concepts clearly. Then only when you understand the concepts, then it will be definitely remain in your mind. If not, if you just read vaguely, then definitely you will not be able to understand the concepts. So I'll be back in the coming sessions with some more concepts of the same chapter called Animal Kingdom. As I said, it is a very big chapter called Animal Kingdom, and each and every point is very important in Animal Kingdom, and you cannot just rush out just to complete this chapter. Each and every concept should be explained properly. So all the concepts what I have explained in today's session is also very, very important. So I'll be back in the coming session with some more concepts of the same chapter called Animal Kingdom. Till then, goodbye and thank you.